Hello out there. Hi, I'm Chuck Nix. I am a cancer warrior. I'm here to introduce myself and tell you more about me and my cancer journey. Um, as you can see, I'm a musician. I'm talking to you from the music room. I have a wonderful wife, Vicky. She's been here with me and she's been so strong. She's been through a lot. Anyone that's been through this before will tell you the caregivers probably get the worst part of the deal. You know, we go on. If it doesn't work out, we get to go on. But they're left here to clean up the mess. I have my 4 kids: Stephen, Angel, Ashley, and Maddie. You all know Maddie. She does videos with me. She's in this room all the time. She's a singer, lots of personality. She has never made a B. She's going into 4th grade. Well, she's in 4th grade because school's already started. I have 4 grandkids. Brennan, River, Roman, and Isabel. Obviously, I'm a musician. Like I said, I play the guitar, the banjo, the mandolin, the keyboard, the bass, the drums. Pretty much anything you put in front of me, if you leave it with me long enough, I'll figure it out some way, one way or the other. Let's see, I love space. I would love to go in space. I don't know if I will before, even if I live to be 100, I don't know if civilians will be able to afford to go into space. I love science. I love anything science. I try to learn new things every day, whether from TV or, anything I can find. I just love knowledge. Knowledge is a beautiful thing. I love the supernatural, anything scary. I love scary stories, It's just, I'm so fascinated with things that are unexplained. I love the ocean, but not the beach. If I had my way, I would live on a yacht. I would live on a yacht for probably the rest of my life. I'd only come in for like the big storms or something, tsunami. I worked on a cruise ship a few years ago, so I really fell in love with the ocean when I was doing that. Well, that's just about it about me that I can think of. Let's see, I was diagnosed with cancer in May of 2018. I have stage 4 colon cancer. And stage 4 means it has metastasized or spread to another organ. And in my case, it had spread to my liver. And a lot of people think stage 4, they think it's over. But I've lived 2 years with it now. It's been hard. Cancer is full of ups and downs, I mean, that's just it. When you got the ups, you got to do as much as you can because the downs are going to put you down. I have done 48 rounds of chemo. I've had 1 major surgery. My chemo regimen that I've had what they call is 5FU. It's a chemo that was, I think, developed in the 50s. It's one of the very early first chemos. And it's given to you in a 46-hour period in a pump, which is the worst part about this particular chemo. And it pretty much makes it the worst of all. Not because of side effects, just because of wearing this pump. And it goes into the port that I had put in right after I was diagnosed. I'm also on, it's called Oxaliplatin. It's a platinum-based, I believe, is how they say it, chemo. So, I can't go through metal detectors because I have so much platinum in me. No, I'm kidding. I really can. It's the worst thing about that particular drug is the neuropathy, which it affects my playing, but not so bad. But it affects my voice more. I mean, now I don't really have my full range, and I'm pretty much a 3-octave singer, and I maybe have 2 right now. Let's see what else. Avastin. I'm taking Avastin again. Avastin helps you win with the cancer battle by preventing your body from making new blood vessels, and it keeps the cancer from receiving more blood flow. And then my second round, I did what's called irinotecan, and it's pretty hard. I didn't see as good results in it. It just didn't seem to work as good, and it was kind of harder on me. Had its own set of difficulties. I have also, let's see, I had my surgery. I had my surgery in June of 2019, about a year after I was diagnosed. they did what's called a liver resection, where they cut half of your liver out, and they try to cut out the half that has the cancer in it. If you're lucky enough to have cancer in only one half, and all of mine is in the right lobe, right on my right, so it's here. The right lobe's a lot bigger than the left lobe, so they had to do a procedure, an embolization. What they call that? What was that artery called? I'm thinking now. Well, anyway, I can't remember the name of the artery, but it's an embolization. They cut off blood flow they cut off some of the blood flow to the right side of my liver, so more would go to the left side of my liver. And the liver is the only organ in the body that can regenerate. And so my liver, the left side, started growing more. So that means when they actually removed the right side of my liver, there would be more liver on the left side, so I wouldn't die. There'd have to be a certain amount to keep you still healthy. So anyway, when they went in and did the liver resection, I had 51 staples at the end. But they couldn't do it because I still had more on my left half than what they knew I had. So basically all they were able to do was remove my gallbladder and sew me back up. Or I guess staple me back up. And then we moved over, at that point I'd kind of run out of options. I kind of went through the first line and second line of treatment. And CEAs. A CEA is a carcinogenic embryonic antigen. And it's a blood test where they check to see how much of this antigen you have, in your blood. And they can kind of judge that by how much cancer you have or how healthy the cancer is. When I started, I was around 4,000. And at the end of the surgery, before I started my next rounds of stuff, I got up to 9,400. Well, we decided to start a study. And a study is the same thing as a trial. And I started immunotherapy. Immunotherapy is a great development in the war on cancer. It's been very successful in a lot of cancers. Not so much in colon cancer so far. So I started a regimen of 3 different immunotherapies. Ipilimumab, nivolumab, and panitumumab. And it wasn't long until all my numbers, the CEA was looking good, my scans were looking good, and the best we had was in October. My CEA got all the way down to 81. That is 881. We were so happy, But along with that came the bad news. I was having an allergic reaction to the immunotherapy because immunotherapy is basically turning your immune system on cancer, and it's doing what it should be doing in the beginning, which is killing the cancer to keep it from ever growing. So it teaches the T cells, I think, to attack the cancer. But sometimes it attacks your body. So it was attacking my skin. All the way from my toes to my waist, to my chest and abdomen, my back, my arms, even up to my ears and my eye. It didn't hit my face, thank God. This is all He gave me. This is all God gave me, and I don't need to mess with it. So that was good. I did lose a little hair too. But, so it gotten to the point to where I had to stop the treatment. I can never do that treatment again. It was so successful, but I had to stop it. So by around Thanksgiving, I had to go to the hospital. They sent me straight in. To the burn clinic, and they had to scrape all the wounds and bandage it up and treat it. At first, they weren't really putting the medicine on it so much because they were letting it heal. But so we did that. I spent 5 days in the burn ICU and a couple more days in the regular hospital room. I can't remember how many days I was there. I was released from the hospital on the day before Thanksgiving of 2019. So at that point, everything is getting better. We're putting topical steroids on my legs and the rest of my body. And the thing is, we had a cruise coming up on December the 3rd. I mean, we're talking 2 weeks from when I got out of the hospital. All my doctors didn't want me to go. I mean, I was healing up at the pace, it's going to take months for this stuff to clear up. And, I said at the beginning of this cancer, no matter what, I'm not going to let the cancer take my life away from me. It might kill me, but it's not going to take my life away from me. I'm going to enjoy my life. You know, I'm going to enjoy the most out of my ups as I could have. And at this point, I wasn't dealing with fatigue or anything like that. I was only dealing with these burns. And, you know, I want you to know, I went on this cruise in a wheelchair. And I came off walking. It was a joyous thing. After just 2 or 3 days on the ship, I was pretty much able to walk. We walked 2 miles in Curacao. That was 4 days later. And, you know, all the time on the deck with the sand, with the salt and the fresh air and positivity, you know, being somewhere different and somewhere new. It just really helped me so much. So, but we still had to wrap, my wife still had to wrap me every day, usually in the morning. Process took a couple hours still. So we went on the plane with a ton of bandage and all kinds of supplies. And by the time we got to the first stop, we were pretty much out of bandages. So every single port, we had to find a pharmacy and resupply. And some pharmacies didn't have all the right stuff, but we still had to make do with what we had. But needless to say, I had a great time. I would still do it again. I wrote a lot for my book while I was out there. That's what I want to talk to you about anyway. My book and my testimonial, pretty much, I guess. So my book is called Breadcrumbs from Heaven. And breadcrumbs from heaven are the tiny blessings that I have noticed since I've had this cancer. And I may have been getting them my entire life, but I don't know. I mean, they're like when you need money for something, you know, because we're a one-income family now, not two-income. And there's nothing you can do. And this random check that you even forgot that was supposed to be coming in months ago, you know, shows up for like $800. And we needed $800. Boom, there it was. And, or just simply as my wife working from home. You know, I was able to work in the beginning of this, but after so long, I wasn't able to work anymore. So I needed her at home to help me during my chemo weeks because I'd take it every 2 weeks. So the first week was the hardest. The second week I'd be pretty good. And she was working from home 3 days a week. You know, she had switched over just no time before I was diagnosed. And that helped so much. And as time went along, she went to 1 day. And then when COVID and all that started, she is now working from home 5 days a week. And thus far, she won't be going back to the office until January the 1st. That's a breadcrumb. It's not a huge blessing. It's not curing everything. But this is what I want my book to be about. It's kind of my point of view on life and religion. We get into the religion. You know, the blessings. You want the big blessing, and the big blessings don't always come. But if you would pay attention, there's all kinds of little blessings that's coming along. And these are the things that God is trying to make. I think he tries to make these things easier. Because God obviously does not give us cancer. But I think the thing he can do is help us in little ways that are not so obvious to, you know, help us through as best he can. And maybe he'll give me the big blessing. Or maybe I'll just go on to heaven. And either way I win. Heaven is a beautiful place. To look upon God every day would be just unimaginable. I believe when we go, I think God will assure us that everybody we left behind will be taken care of. No matter their age, no matter their situation. It's all a matter of faith, to have faith in God. And when you see him face to face, there's no more faith. Then you just have to have faith at what he's telling you. But you know it's true. You have no doubt because he's telling you. Everyone will be fine. Everything will be fine. And that's just it, you know? It's a win-win situation. We can go to heaven for eternity, or we can stay behind, you know, with our loved ones and live. But either way, you know, life is just a few decades. If we're lucky, maybe 9, 10. But heaven is forever. And when you're in heaven forever, those little decades will look so small. They'll be so insignificant. All the pain we felt here, all the fear, everything will be insignificant when we're up there with him. Everything will be fine. We will be fine. It's all a matter of perspective. God's on top of the mountain. He's looking down on us, and there is a creek, and life is on one side, and the afterlife in heaven is on the other side. From where he's at, Everything is fine. He can see heaven and he can see earth at the same time. And he knows when we cross over that we're fine. We don't have that perspective. We probably never will in heaven either. I don't know. But it's a perspective. It comes with knowledge or interdimensional. I don't know how it works exactly. I just said I didn't know how something was. That's pretty amazing for me to say I don't know. My wife will tell you how amazing that is. But we're all safe. We're all fine. No matter what happens. No matter with the riots. No matter with COVID. I'm telling you, everything is going to be fine. That is my message from this. I love you all, and you love each other, and hold each other tight. Have a good night.